Steve Marley, our newest Arizona drag racing legend. It's great to have you here. How are you today?
I'm well, and I appreciate you having me here.
Well, it's awesome. You know what this is all about?
I've seen a few of your videos.
Okay. Well, you are definitely one of our legendary characters that's made drag racing great in Arizona over the years and represented the state well. So we want to get you here and interview you. So let's start. Where are you originally from?
I was born here at the old St. Joe's Hospital in 1952. So I'm
The old one. I was born in the new one that built right after they tore yours down, I guess.
The new one opened in 53.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of people I think it was either St. Joe's or Good Sam, for that era of time. But so, where did you go to school?
I went to grade school at St. Francis. In high school, I was on a dual registration between Central and Phoenix Union.
So you went to Phoenix Union for a tech school thing, or?
I sure did.
What was your tech?
I was doing machine work.
Uh-huh.
Started off with cylinder heads, stuck with that for a long time. Then got into line boring and building short blocks and never looked back.
All from stuff you learned at a young age.
Actually, my youngest influence was a gentleman by the name of Tony Buffone. And he used to work for Clint Bronner and did chassis work on Andretti's car. He was my neighbor, lived 3 doors down. I bought a go-kart, had some problems getting it running, and he helped me out. So I was around 12 years old.
So that's when you first felt the need for speed?
Absolutely.
So you go-karted for a while, then it came time for your first car. What was your first car?
It was a 1953 Chevy 2-door with a 3 on the tree and a 6-cylinder.
6-cylinder. And did you make it as fast as you could for a 6-cylinder?
I did.
Do you remember what you did? Do anything special?
Well, the 235 6-cylinders were famous for cracking cylinder heads, so I think I had 4 different heads on them.
You got good at changing cylinder heads.
Very good at it.
That's cool. So that was your high school car, or did you?
That was my high school daily driver. Then I got a hold of a 55 Chevy and put a small block in it, a 331, and that was my hot rod and weekend car.
So when's the first time you went to drag races?
1968, Beeline. A friend of mine worked for Pervo Paint Company, and the man that owned it was Hank DeRuyter, and he bought a Dickie Harold Camaro from Courtesy. So that was my first experience at the drag strip.
So you got to tag along with that group, and
we had a blast.
remember how fast that car ran?
I think it was an 11.0 car.
It was
pretty hot.
for a dealer deliver type of car.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah,
So-
fun car.
So when did you know that you wanted to? When did you build your first race specific car? And you said, I want to really get serious about this.
The 55.
Okay. It saw a little street time, but mostly
A little street time.
You didn't street racing, did you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, we
No.
didn't do that.
Okay. I think your pants are on fire.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Central with that car.
Good old Central Avenue days, yeah.
Yeah, cruising Central.
So you've over your career you've been to a lot of places, you've done a lot of things. When was what came after the 55? We said probably think I want something to go quicker in.
My brother went off to Vietnam, and he had a 66 Cyclone GT. Had a 390 in it, fiberglass front end, aluminum hood. The big deal of those, the advertiser was 300 pounds lighter than a Corvette. So I had fun hopping that up. My poor brother had no clue.
He came back and it was all worn out.
It was pretty wore out, yeah.
The car, that's one of the cars I wish I never let that car go, kind of type of car for the collectability of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the one thing car guys always say, that I wish I would have hung on to, but if you did, then the car value of the cars wouldn't have gone up, and because nobody would ever change hands.
The one I regret the most is I had a 40 Ford Coupe with a fuel-injected small block in it. I wished I'd never got rid of that car.
That must have been pretty crazy.
It was fun.
Because it was a street car, drag car, or did you guys do
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one I got in trouble in Central on.
Got this Phoenix Finest would pull you over and talk to you every once in a while, ask you about your car. And
Give me a
one of his-
driving award.
Yeah,
Yes.
give me the driving award. Top speed of the meet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's never a good thing to get on when you're street cruising. So, what I've known you for is that, you know, you're racing in dragsters and such. When did you first? What transpired to get you finally to get in something with a tubular built car that's long and skinny?
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, I started off with sprint cars with Buffon.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of that for quite a while, and I think I built my first dragster in 80 or 81, and that was a front-motored car. And then 84, when they were working on opening up Firebird, I built a couple cars during that era. That's where I really got into it.
That's when I remember you really going, you know, you like the bug just like zapped you. You really you were a presence. You did very well racing and such. Leading into that, so you did you were in sprint car racing. So did you, you know, I'm sure Manzanita, did you go to Ascot, or did you race anywhere else with that? Did they race anywhere else with a car that you?
We did Ascot, El Centro. They had a track up in Globe. We played around up there. Nothing more serious than that.
Did you ever drive the car? Did you drive the car, or did you just?
I drove it once, got it on my lid first lap.
Check mark. I'm done with that, right?
Yeah, and I'll just be a car owner and stick somebody else in it.
Yeah. That's awesome. So when you moved into the dragsters, I also know that through the time you helped other people with the race cars. So you got experience with some probably nitro cars and being bidding and helping. Who inspired you through the years, in racing that way?
Well, quick side story is the neighborhood that I grew up in was right off of Central Avenue in Georgia, and 2 streets away, Dan Gear had his funny car, the King Camaro car.
It's amazing. A great mind. He was an awesome man.
Unbelievable. But I was too young and off into other things and sports and that type of thing. I really didn't recognize how brilliant that guy was, but used to love to go by when he'd fire that thing up at his house. Then I met Mike Hamby and Larry Christofferson when Hamby had his bicycle shop in Phoenix, and started hanging around the shop there, and next thing I know, it's fuel all the way.
So I'm sure there's some great stories with Mike Hamby and Christofferson, but this is like, a lot of kids might watch this, so we probably won't get into a lot of them, but
No, we don't want to do that.
but a lot of great memories. Did you ever have any desire to go that fast yourself?
I did, and eventually I ended up buying their last car. So it was the Arizona Wildcat car. It was a Vega, yellow and black car. I worked on 3 or 4 different cars with them. The original Cobra tire car, the orange car. There's a green Cobra tire car, and then the yellow and black Vega, which eventually Dale Paldy ended up driving. So we did the Coca-Cola cavalcade for Bill Donor, ran the whole West Coast thing. Nothing like match racing. That was a lot of fun. Went back east in the summer. We ran US 30 a lot in Chicago, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We just had a great time. Then we got into IHRA, Rockingham, all of that type of stuff.
Saw a lot of places you heard of but never seen until you got to that opportunity. So the cavalcade was a base of like 16 32 cars, or that would go to track, and they'd have the cavalcade events.
Yeah, and they actually had 64 cars at one time. So the big deal there is for the crowd, they'd line all the cars up on both sides of the track and start the event off with 64 nitro cars firing at the same time.
Well, I've seen that at Orange County.
Yep, they did that 32 cars mostly.
Yeah, but that was pretty amazing and loud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I think we'll get a picture, or try to find a picture and flash it up on the background so those who haven't seen it can see what it really was really about. So this was, what did you end up doing with the car that you bought?
I actually started making a B. O'Connell car out of it. Then the Gold Cup Series was going on. That was fuel cars, New Mexico, California, Arizona, and Colorado. And Paldy and Hamby called me, and we resurrected the car and put their motor in it and went and ran those events. And parked the car for about a year, and I finally scrounged up enough money to do a nitro motor and blew it up on the second pass, and ran out of money and went back to be a O'Connell in the funny car.
So you gave it a shot. A lot of people, that's just a dream, they never live it, so that's that's fantastic. So what year was the O'Connell car? And
79 and 80.
how'd you do with that?
I cut my teeth in learning how to drag race. I didn't do very well with the car. Had a lot of fun. Won a few rounds here and there, and then started working for other people.
Well, I know running the comp limiter part is, it's a challenge. You learn a lot.
It's insane.
You learn a lot, and it's really satisfying because even just to win a couple rounds. You know, it's really hard to win the whole thing, but you know, then I know that story for a fact because we never won the whole thing either. But it's the fact that you did it and you tried different things. So when you built your first when you built the front motor car, and then when Firebird was opening up, you decided, okay, I'm gonna put the engine behind me. What was your main goal with your first rear engine car you built? What did you run with that?
Ran Super Comp and then the bracket racing. Big block Chevy, carbureted. It was an 850 car. Had a lot of fun with it. It was an old Don Long car that I picked up in California, and back halved it and ran that car for 4 or 5 years. And then I got my hands on a Spitzer car, and 6 months later, rear frame cracked, so took it to Yancer and had it back halved. Tom's never forgiven me for that. So he back halved the car. We talked about it, and he says, well, you can't claim this is one of my cars because I didn't do the cage on it. So just to mess with Tom, when I filled out the tech card, I called the car a Yan Spit. And Tom has never forgiven me for that.
Well, when we built our comp car, Tom was still with Bud in the shop on Van Buren, and it was a hybrid Mark Williams / Spitzer car. And but he had to claim it because he actually put the roll cage on it, did the whole thing. But it was before he got off on his own and built some fantastic cars for people. Yeah, Tom's a very capable guy, and I'm sure the car worked just fine after he had put his hands on it.
It worked great, and he did a good enough job that he built me a monoshock car. That's when Tom was having some health issues. He was in the hospital for quite a while.
Yeah.
He designed the car while he was still in the hospital and trying to recuperate. And I believe his first car that he back halved was Jim Hughes's car. Then he built one for Bruce Williams. I had the third car and ran that car for a number of years. Had a blast with it.
I remember when those cars came out, I go, what's this about? The monoshock thing, and turns out it was on the right path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to find a hardtail car running anything real quick out there anymore. Most of them are all shock type or link cars now. So, what you like most about drag racing?
People, absolute people, camaraderie. Made a lot of good friends. I don't think people realize how much people help other people when they're down or they need their car worked on, something's broken in the pits. The barbecues, the camaraderie is unbelievable.
You'd help
I
you'd help
still
somebody.
miss that.
You might help somebody you're racing the next round.
Oh, or loaning them parts.
Yeah, or they do the same for you.
Absolutely. Or if you're out and they need a part, you take a part off your car and let them have it. A lot of fun.
What's your best memory from your best successes from drag racing? That you say, I'm proud to have done this. I know let me first preface that you've had all of us been great. I mean, we're all proud of what we've done. I don't know what the end result is, but you've had some good successes over the years.
Best memory is working with Ron Sutherland and Chris Lane in '88 or '89, I don't remember. We won the AHRA World Championship, and that was a great year. We had a good time.
Quite the guy, Ron Sutherland. Miss that guy.
And
Chris as well, but
absolutely.
But Ron was kind of a mentor in a bit for a lot of people. He was first funny car I actually got to touch is one of his original cars that actually had the doors open and closed on it. That's when I first started going out to drag races. So
that goes back.
Yes, it does. What races do you remember that you did well at? In your record book, what did you win that you said I was really proud to win that race?
I think Spokane, when we won that event and tied up the championship, we ran a race in Alamo Raceway, and that thing was in July or August. It was the most miserable time I've ever had. It was 95 degrees, 90% humidity. It was an anniversary weekend for my bride and I, and we were miserable, dripping all the time. It just was a tough event, and we ended up winning that. And you want to talk about total exhaustion, dehydration. We didn't have, that was a lot of match racing back then. It wasn't like you tore the motor down every round, but for some reason on that event, we had to tear the motor down every round. So we were exhausted, so that was a proud moment.
So that's when people say, remember the Alamo, that's what you remember about the Alamo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something that really makes it stand out. What are you doing now?
I was retired for 4 years. I retired in 20 and spent time here, winter, summers in Rigby, Idaho with my son and grandkids. And this past year I made the mistake of getting bored and ended up consulting for 3 dealerships in Idaho. And day one, the manager from 2 of their stores went away, and I ended up running the stores for 5 months and training a new manager. So now I'm trying to get you back into retirement.
Into the retirement phase, and where you don't have to answer your phone when it rings, and
Absolutely.
you can just be the happy-go-lucky guy. When's the last time you drove down the track?
It's probably been close to 10 years.
Remember how quick was the car running then?
It was an 8.0 car.
Okay. And how quick was the 55 Chevy?
I think that was a 1290 13-second car.
Quite a difference.
Big difference.
So the 8.0 car would run in the 7s. How
Yes.
quick did the car run?
My best time with it was a 790.
That's pretty good. That's something to be proud of. What would you like to be remembered most from drag racing, or just your life in general? What's been important to you that you like people know who you are, if you were to say something?
Probably the most important to me is my wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be remembered as a good father and a decent husband, and hopefully live a little longer and spend more time watching my grandkids grow up.
Amen to that. Those are some good thoughts. How long were you married? How long?
I've been married for 43 years.
That's pretty good.
We've had a few off and on moments, but 43 years.
That's something to be very proud of, and congratulations. And what's your wife's name?
Debbie.
Debbie, thank you for putting up with this guy. Yeah, we know that I know from personal experience that I couldn't accomplish what I did without somebody behind me, my wife, to support me, and it's obvious that you've been very happy and well balanced and have had a great racing career. Any futures you want to get back on the track at all, or just gonna be a spectator?
Spectating's fine. I wouldn't mind working on a few cars here and there, but it's been since '90 since I've been around a funny car or a fuel car, and technology has changed so much. It's incredible what it's done. It's also got very, very expensive.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was as the local team family, the Winniski family, building a big show funny car, and good friends. I get over occasionally to see how the car's coming along, and it's, I can actually look close at what they did, and inside that box, it just blows me away. How do is a long, that's way above my pay grade. What I think I would know about those cars, and but
It's rocket science. It's crazy.
So, before we close, you did a lot of other things. You say you're learning how to play golf,
I'm trying to, yeah.
and but you did all these things, but you worked for quite a few years at what dealership were you?
I was with Thoroughbred Chevrolet in Chandler, Arizona for 32 years.
So you met a lot of people there, a lot of.
I have customers that are now friends that we still meet for lunch once a month and do those type of things. It's amazing the people that you know over the years, you become friends.
That's fantastic. The best thing is about drag racing are the good memories and the people we've met along the way. And there's a lot of people that are no longer with us that helped us and shaped us and gave us a push. And I know that you've done that for other people as well. You say you like to help on cars, and I hope that you can find somebody that you can share your knowledge with and keep moving forward, because definitely you've been very successful with what you've done.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure having you here, and as Arizona drag racing legend, wish you the very best, and thanks for taking your time.
Thank you.
Okay.